Fletcher, and welcome to All About Books. I love books, and I love to know what inspires authors to write theirs. So on my channel, that's what I do. I interview authors to find out. Today, I am delighted to have Catherine Kenwell with me. Catherine and Heather Down are the authors of Not Cancelled: Canadian Kindness in the Face of COVID-19. This book was published by Winterticke Press, and Not Cancelled is a collection of 49 human interest stories. They come from every province, Indigenous voices, newcomers, people of all ages. So amid the craziness of COVID, when everything was being canceled, the book focuses on all of the goodness that wasn't. And Not Cancelled, I would have to say, made me very proud to be Canadian. Catherine, welcome to All About Books.
Wow, thank you. That's quite the introduction.
Catherine, I wondered if you could share with our listeners, what was the inspiration behind this incredible book?
You know, I think that Heather Down and I, in the early days of the pandemic, we were looking for some hope. We were looking for those good stories. I recall thinking that, you know, so much was canceled. What did we have that couldn't be canceled? And the answer was Canadian kindness. You know, there's a different kind of generosity and compassion, I think, in Canada, and we're good at it. And I think that was the impetus. We wanted to find those stories and share those stories so that people across Canada could actually, as you say, feel proud to be Canadian.
And how did you find all of these stories? Like 49 stories, that's a lot.
Oh gosh, well, you know, that is Heather Down right there. She, you know, the two of us, we actually watched the news, read headlines, and Heather really tracked down people. Once she heard their stories, she might have just heard, you know, something on the news, and she really wanted to find that person to interview, to you know, get that sense of behind the story. And that's how it took place. I had already written a number of my own reflections, and so it was kind of a good fit that we already had some themes to go with. Yeah.
And I have to say, there were definitely some tears when I read a few of your stories. Canadians we're incredible. We really And I am so impressed with the speed that this book came out. Like, it was fast and furious. Within 7 weeks, it was in the market. How was that even possible? Like, this is just unheard of in publishing.
Well, I think we really wanted to capture the moment when a lot of people were feeling so abandoned or isolated. We really wanted to get the book out quickly so that people could have some inspiration. And so we worked really hard on it. Actually, we gathered stories, we edited. Again, Heather was so fast. I don't think she sleeps. So for me, you know, I'm a huge sleeper. I'd wake up and I'd see, you know, new work from Heather, and you know, it was a wonderful process. But we really wanted to capture that feeling of inclusiveness and Canadianism in the early days, when people were so confused and there were so many things that we were unsure about. And I mean, that continues today, but I think we're starting to see our way through a lot of the new reality. When we started with the book, there were so many uncertainties. So that's why we pushed it, and yeah, you know, looking back, I can't believe that we did it in that period.
It's impressive because, I mean, this is a big book.
We had incredible contributors, and
Yes.
the stories are fabulous. I mean, you know, there were writers who wanted to participate, and you know, the stories are so wonderful, and they're so diverse. There's really
Yes.
some very interesting perspectives in the book, and you know, I commend the contributors, and I thank them so much for sharing their stories. And that's what made the book.
Yes. And what I really appreciated as well was at the end of each story, there's contact details. So you can go to their website or go to their YouTube channel, or so you can kind of follow what's going on.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great.
I mean, these, you know, these are real people in Canada, and
Yes.
you know, want some more inspiration, follow their websites, follow their YouTube channels. Yeah.
That's right. Now, Catherine, we've been doing all this talking about the stories. I've asked that you could read one of the stories with us today. But before you read, can you share with us why you've selected the story that you're going to share today?
The story I selected, to be honest, I'm more comfortable reading my own work.
Yes.
So I'm going to read a piece that I wrote, and it's talking about a garden in the early days of the pandemic, when there was, you know, we still had snow on the ground, when we had no flowers or anything outside to look at other than, you know, winter or end of winter snow, and people needed to see something. And I think a lot of people were walking around because that's all they could do. They take their dog out for a walk, or they take, you know, they go out with their immediate families. You couldn't go anywhere, so a lot of people walked, and they walked past my house, and I wanted to do something that made people feel good and know that they were cared for, and hopefully make them smile.
Yeah. I'm sure you made lots of smiles.
We still have comments, you know, it's the beginning of September, and I still have people walking by the house saying, "Oh, I miss your hearts." The garden is full of flowers now, and it's beautiful. But those
Yes.
hearts, I think, really captured a lot of people's attention, and
Oh,
made them feel pretty good. Yeah.
oh, fabulous. I look forward to hearing this passage then. Thank you for that lovely setup.
Okay. I'll read it now.
Yes, please.
Okay. Um, this is called "A Garden of Hearts is Not Cancelled." Construction paper? Check. Scissors? Check. Sharpies? Check. Bamboo sticks? Check. Not exactly the type of tools you'd expect to use when combating COVID-19. But these are the items I assemble on the coffee table while I'm watching the morning news and listening to the latest developments on the coronavirus. I sip my coffee and get to work. It's been a long time since I cut out hearts, and my scissors follow what I hope is an adequate path to something that resembles heart shape. I create one, then two, and another two. They're uneven, but I think they look like hearts. We're going to be stuck inside for a while, apparently. Today, the government has told us to avoid unnecessary travel and to maintain at least 2 meters between us and others when we're outside. So we can walk the dog, but we can't congregate with our extended family. We can say hello to our neighbors, but we can't drop in for a visit. I keep cutting, sipping coffee, listening to the news while I work. I have 19 hearts. Now I employ the black Sharpie. "You are beautiful," I write. "Look at you with your COVID hair. You're gorgeous." I print what I hope will be an inspiration, a little drop of good cheer during this dismal time. "Hello," I write. "Keep healthy. Wash your paws. Give us your most beautiful smile. Do your silly dance. Hop on one foot to the next house." And then my family's favorite: "If we can smell your farts, you're standing too close." Carefully, I attach bamboo sticks to each brightly colored heart. These little crafts, they look like the work of children instead of a 58-year-old. They're imbalanced, messy, and imperfect. I pull on my boots and open the front door. My arms are filled with 19 paper hearts on sticks. One by one, I place them. In the front garden, near the sidewalk, I push the sticks into soft soil. They're placed so that anyone can read them as they walk by. I fail to realize that the last one in the row is the fart heart, and most onlookers seem to take a moment longer to read that one. And then they laugh, or maybe they're grimacing at my uncouth comment. Then sometimes I can't tell. What a joy it's been watching people of all ages enjoying something so simple. Hearing from neighbors we had yet to meet, saying hello. It's even been laugh-inducing witnessing little dogs lifting their legs against them. We are living in extraordinary times where every day we're unsure about how to live our lives. We're afraid and depressed, and we have cabin fever. Everything and every day seems wrought with new challenges and rules. It's exasperating. If we hadn't been home isolating, we wouldn't have moved my office to the second floor. And if we hadn't moved my office, I wouldn't have discovered the stash of neon-colored construction paper. And if I hadn't found the paper, none of this would have happened. Sometimes it's the most unremarkable chain of events that leads to something extraordinary. And sometimes the extraordinary is not extraordinary at all. Maybe it's simple and messy and imperfect, just like our little garden of hearts.
Oh, thank you, Catherine. That's perfect. And when I read it, you had me laughing out loud. And so for everyone else, if you can imagine, there are 48 more incredible stories like that in this book, and they really are incredible. Now, for you and Heather, I mean, what a process of collecting all of these like very personal stories for people. How did that impact you personally?
I think Heather and I both laughed and we cried, and I think this was a process for us that we felt other people's pain. And
Mhm.
there's a special sense of feeling united, not just in joy, but in pain and in grief. And I think the book tackles pain and grief and isolation,
Yes.
but it shows that we can be inspired to turn that into something positive.
Mhm.
The book is not all rainbows. There's some pretty tough things in there. We talk about addiction, we talk about funerals, we talk about grieving, and there's still, I think, the book just exudes joy and caring and compassion, and those are the most important things that we can carry with us as we move forward.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And Catherine, will there be a follow-up book?
I do believe there will be. We have been talking about capturing some other stories, and I have a few that I'm working on right now, and I know Heather has them. So yeah, we're looking forward to producing a new book, and I think the stories will be certainly different
Yeah.
as we move along, but we still are committed to sharing that compassion and that joy.
Oh, well, I certainly look forward to a sequel.
Thanks.
um, so now, Catherine, you're an author, a meditator, a
Mediator.
pardon. Oh, me. Oh,
Mediator.
I was calling you a meditator. I was giving you occupation there.
I do meditate, but I'm a professional. I'm a qualified mediator.
Mediator, meditator on the side.
That's right.
And a brain injury survivor. You write short horror and supernatural tales. So this is the polar opposite to what you've been working on. Do you have any more horror stories that you're kind of have in your back pocket?
I do. I'm always working on something, and I have the basis for a novel right now that I'm a horror novel, and I'm afraid that it's one of those things that just gets put in the back
Yes.
pocket for a long time, and I think about it from time to time. But right now, I'm working on a number of stories for the new, not canceled book,
Yeah.
but also I have I have about 6 submissions out there that I'm just sort of waiting to hear back from on the horror front. And
Okay.
I write horror probably every day.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I'll cross my fingers for you because it's such a process. So,
it is. It sure is.
yeah, yeah. Well, to all of our viewers here, I would like to extend a big thank you on behalf of all of us, Catherine, for agreeing to participate on All About Books today. I will put links down below to Catherine's website so you can learn more about her, and also links to Winterticke Press so you can purchase a copy of her book. So everyone, please like my videos and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for listening.
Thanks, Crystal.
Thanks, Kathy.